Okay, group project carries a lot of marks. 50% of your entire semester weightage is in the group project. So we want it to be something substantial. And in terms of choosing a topic and functionality, there is a certain amount of minimum expectation. So if you look at your course syllabus, which we did last time, you'll see there are lots of topics. And broadly speaking, these are some of the topics. I want your projects to have at least four of these features, the ones that are listed here. So, for example, you could have an app which does not have any audio, video, animations, or does not have any widget, but has the other four. So these are more or less more advanced, these are more advanced topics than we covered last semester and a part of this semester's syllabus. So this gives you a lot of things to work with, these topics, in terms of what apps you can develop. And the idea is that you decide you can work with one other person or you can work on your own. We have a pretty small class, so even if there are people working on their own, there won't be too many groups. Whoever you are working with, if you're working with somebody, you decide a topic and come up with functionality such that you have four of these things. Whatever interests you. If you have more than four, no problem. But minimum is you need to have four. And as we cover these topics, so for example, last week we covered widgets. This week and the next week we'll be talking about sensors. So if your app is doing some of these things, you can add those things. And you don't have to finish the implementation of those things if the other topics are not yet covered, but you can start building your app as we go. So what it will do is, instead of having a big rush at the end, because the project is due in your final class, you would have done much of it as we go along. If there are questions, doubts, difficulties, they will all get cleared. So that's the idea for the project. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, for notifications and database, can we use uh, Firebase and services like that, Amazon Firebase?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can. So when we do the notifications class, the lecture on notifications, at that time we will look at some of these services which are even cross-platform. So if you know how to use Firebase, you can use it. They have the kit for both iOS and Android. You can use it on both.
Yeah.
So we may pick one of those and work with that. There are options there. Different vendors have their own frameworks. So we won't look at all of them. The idea is that if you know how to use one, if you know how to figure out using one, you can figure out the other as well.
True. Same for database. Like, do we have to make our own database, or can we use the uh, Firestore or any database that they offer these services?
Here you have choices. So you can use an SQLite in app, which will be local, or you can use a cloud-based Firestore, real-time database, whatever it is that you want to use. So yeah, see, because this is the advanced course, you have a lot more, even in the basic course, you have freedom to try these different tools. You're not restricted by them. Uh, this list of topics here is to make sure that your app has enough complexity, enough variety in it to demonstrate knowledge, the the learning of all these things. Any other questions? Okay. So what I would like you guys to do is figure out how you're working, if you're working with somebody, and then discuss and submit an outline of what it is that you're thinking of for your project by next week. I'll post this as a Blackboard activity. First, like last semester, those of you who took the course, we had self-registration in the groups. So I will open that up and you will be able to self-register with your teammate in a group. And once you do that, you will have access to the group submissions, which is where you will submit the outline of your app, etc. And even if you're working by yourself, you need to register yourself into a group. Otherwise, you don't see those things. Okay. All right. So this is good. It's exciting stuff. I think you have a wider range of things you can rely on to create a more, more sensational app, let's say.
Are are we doing this as our final project then, correct? This is our
Yeah.
final project for this class?
Yes, this is this is the final project. In the syllabus, you will see that it says, I don't remember whether I called it group project or final project or what it was called. The one that has the 50% weightage, this is it.
And can we use the same project here as we're doing a capstone project for our portfolio in mobile portfolio?
So capstone project, I'm not sure. We are having this discussion among the faculty of, are you guys, does the capstone project mean you do one project in each of these courses, Android, iOS, cross-platform, and you use each of those?
No, so we when we talked to Robert in last class, he said we just have to make one app and publish it on like Apple University. That's the only requirement. And for Capstone project, they're looking more towards the functionality of the app rather than features like how users find it. So I asked him if we can use any app from like your course as well. So if because the apps we're building for your course are like very have like 50% updated as well. So those will be like a lot more. There will be a lot work in that app, right? So instead of creating like one extra app for the Capstone project, he said we can use any of the app from other course as well, but it has to have all the features like required for the capstone, like user functionality, and we have to do A/B testing maybe, and all those things.
Okay, okay. So then, yeah, Michelle, then to me, it seems like if Rob has said that you can use any app from any of these courses, then the answer to your question is yes, you could use this as your capstone. What I would also suggest is, let me also talk to Rob, and we are going to have a discussion about this. If there is any more information that we have to share, from my perspective, also, I will share with you in the next class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. All right. So if there is nothing else, we'll stop the class here and we'll carry on with this one in the next class.